Howie Roseman, all we're going to have is those clips from the war room of him being a demeaning, mean, ugly human being. That's what we're going to have.
Yeah, that first.
Sorry to say it. I hate to say it about him because I really don't hate them more than the Washington Commanders. I just hate Howie Roseman. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the B Team. We are back here in the studio.
Yeah.
I see Mike right there. There's no more Zoom. We're not doing that for now. No
For
more.
now.
But we are here. We both have MacBooks. We both look great. Mike, I was wearing that shirt, but it said Peter Millar the other night. I shot a 42 at Bethlehem.
Oh, when
First round
we were
out
messaging?
in a month, 42. Dominated the course.
That's not bad.
Dominated the course.
Only the 9-hole you played, though.
No, I played the 18, but I played the front 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
It was good.
challenging.
Challenging.
Yeah. I know, dude. You know what? It sucks because we have been going through so much stuff, and
A lot of life happening.
A lot of life is happening, and it's kind of taking away from the opportunity of us going out and playing a lot, and it sucks because I love playing golf with you. I like recording. I like to do everything, but we're gonna get out there more. I think once the dust settles down a little bit, once you're done with what you have to do, once I'm kind of finding my footing, we're gonna get back out there.
We gotta get to
yeah,
June.
pretty much. That's what I've told. Who was it that I was speaking to? I was speaking to Adam, actually, because I'm trying to go visit him down in Wayne's Bumble, and I told him, listen, it's gonna have to be as soon as possible. I tried to go down this weekend, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I think first week in June, because we got a lot of stuff coming up. We got the Hanover tournament.
That's the end of June.
It's the end of June. I have a tournament with Andrew, Billy, and Raven. That is it's like some charity event. I think it's the middle of June. There's something in July that we have. I think me and you are going to have. I think it's the 19th. Bailey Hostler, Hunter, all those guys. So June will be the month where we are out more, and I'm excited. But I will say, playing on the weekends now freaking blows.
Terrible.
It blows, dude.
Terrible. The fees are insane.
Number one, the fees are insane. Number two, you have 2 days, and God forbid it rains on one of those days. Screwed. That's what happened last weekend.
Yep.
Screwed. Couldn't play. Miserable. Saturday, I woke up pretty late because I worked that night, and it was beautiful. Cinco de Mayo weekend, I did not plan on playing. It was beautiful. Looked everywhere. Everything's booked up. Sunday, it was for Andrew's birthday. We were going to go to Morgan Hill. You look outside, the ground is soaking wet, and you're like, God, fuck me. Because I don't have time to golf really throughout the week now, so it's tough. But how are you? How is exams going? How is your studying going? You're in classes?
Yeah. I mean, it's going well. I took a little quiz that covered every chapter I've already done. I mean, I've done all of them now, so I got to take that one. But I did okay. All I need is a 70. I'm not here trying to be an A-plus student, Mike. I need everyone to understand that. The whole point of me taking this test is to say I have the certificate. Mm-hmm. It's not to say I was the top in the class. No teacher's pet award coming my way.
Nope.
I just need a 70. I think I can pull that.
I think you can, too. And it's funny because, back in the day, it was, hey, try to get an A. Pass, at least, in high school.
Yeah.
In college. I was trying to, college, I was more so just trying to pass.
You were trying to figure out your major.
Yeah, for, 5 years.
I will never forget. Mike comes home. You came home. And
I came home? That's a good thing
that
I came home.
That was a positive.
Finally.
But you come home from, your advisor after a class, and you look at me, and you're just like, yeah, I'm switching my major. I was like, oh, sweet. Did you switch class? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, what class do you know? Well, I dropped 4 of them. I'm only taking 1 class. I was like, so you didn't change anything. I was like, all you did was say, I'm going to be this major now, and you just dropped everything.
There was no point. There was no point in me using it. Yeah, I kind of wasted a freaking half semester, so it was just money out of my pocket. But I needed 0 of those classes, and they were so difficult.
Follow, subscribe, back to the show.
What was I taking? Geochemistry I was taking regular chemistry. So not only was I in a secondary chemistry class, I was in the regular chemistry class, which I couldn't pass for the life of me. What are you getting there? Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Right, keep it going.
I was taking I think I was taking a secondary physics class, and then I don't know what other one I was taking, but I switched, and I guess it was a better decision, even though I'm not even using that degree, and I despise the major I selected. But we got the degree. We're done. Cheers. That's been almost 4 or 5 years ago. So
Cheers to us almost having 2 new jobs.
you really like your mango carts.
I gotta say, like, if you're just looking to sip on a nice beer, right? Like, it tastes good. It tastes good, right? And you don't want to get too messed up, grab a mango cart. Golden Road.
What is it, 4.5?
I think it's 4.5.
4.0 on the dot.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Imagine like you're out with the newly found girlfriend's family, right? And you're like, hey, I want to drink. I want to look like I'm one of the boys. Grab a mango cart. You can't even find the percent on here. So you could pound 6 of these, Mike. And all of a sudden you just say, yeah, 8%, no big deal. Drink 6 of them, still able to drive home. What you gonna do about it? Pops.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that conversation.
Yeah,
You'd be dumped in a heartbeat.
What was I gonna say here?
Should we get into the show
real quick? Have you tried these Bush apples?
Yeah.
How are they?
Good.
Yeah, because I feel like it's the new
right.
thing now.
Can I be honest about it?
Go ahead.
I don't get it.
I know why.
I've had it. I don't get it. Like, at the end of the day, it is Bush apple. So, like, there are probably 50 other beers you could get on the opposite side of the store that have a weird logo, might cost you $4 more, but they're higher percentage, and they probably taste better, way more natural for all you never mind. I was going to say furries, but I'm not going to say it. Didn't say it. But you know what I mean? Like, you could get that on the other side of the store instead of having a Bush apple. Like, there's so many apple and ciders you could have that are really good. And instead we go for a 30 rack of Bush apple. What are you even going to do with 30 Bush apples?
Mm-hmm. Shotgun.
That's disgusting.
People will do it.
Disgusting.
People are disgusting.
It's a good drink. Good drink. Don't get me wrong. Like, for one time, have a one-night stand with a beer. Bush apple is not a bad one-night stand.
Well, think about it, though. And this is my thing. It's every single year, I feel like we're approaching summer, and all of these companies are like, hey, we should market the crap out of this one beverage that is flavored and somehow is quote unquote healthy, like White Claw, for example.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, 3 years ago? Summer was approaching, White Claw booming out the bozo. Last year, stateside. 2 years ago, stateside or Surfside. Boom, boom, and iced tea. They got flavors. Mm-hmm. So now you
Give
got
me that again.
Huh? Boom.
Yeah.
Booming.
How many booms?
Boom-min. And then you got Bush Apple now, who I just saw a commercial about, oh yeah, Bush Apple, probably
been
not.
around for
and
a
then
while.
The bartender is just like, bam. But anything that is a brand that people know and now has a flavor added to it, people lose their mind. They lose their mind.
They have Bush Peach too.
Yeah, they probably have all of these flavors, but they market one and they just start losing. Like, oh my God, summer's approaching. This is Natty Lemonades. Remember that?
Terrible.
Okay,
Disgusting.
but when that came out, so many people were buying that, bro. You could not find them in distributors at all because everyone was getting their hands on them. Granted, we weren't in college, but
all right, that's what I was going to say. I think if we weren't in college, we never even think about them. Mm-mm. But we were in college, so we thought about them.
And we thought about it, and a lot of other people did. You think how many people you think are thinking about getting Bush Apple for their weekend partying tomorrow?
How many people you think are going to get mango cart after listening to this show?
They should. They should get it.
Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we dive into the NFC East, we are going to talk about the NFC East today. I know we never talk about them ever, but we're going to talk about them today. One of the only divisions we haven't talked about yet. What are your top 3 summer drinks?
Summer drinks?
So not mixed drinks and that stuff. I'm talking about
like
stuff
beverage,
you
canned
go
beverage.
down to Tanzo's Beverage and you have to get a drink in there. Top 3. All right, let's do that. Ready? Top 3 drinks from Tanzo's Beverage, and we'll tag you guys. Shout out to Tanzo's. Hopefully I don't get fired. Top 3 drinks you can get at Tanzo's Beverage for the summer. Go.
So number one,
there's an obvious one for number 1.
For me, it's White Claw. I love White Claw on the beach. I really do. I think it's super simple. Mm-hmm. It's not heavy. It's very light. You get that seltzer soda taste.
Sure.
Number one. Number two, Corona. I think Corona is probably the one beer you can have on the beach. You know, you throw a lime in there. You don't want to be anywhere on the heavy stuff. Yep. And I'll be honest, bro, like Surfsides they get a little crazy when you're out in the beach, you know? Mm-hmm. I can't really, I can't think of a third, but if I had to pick one, if you're talking about some type of beer on the beach, man, maybe like some type of, here we go. Ready? Land Shark. I love a Land Shark.
How many did you say there?
3. So White Claw, Corona, Land Shark.
Oh, because
Surfsides, no.
Not saying
yeah, so I don't like Surfsides on the beach. I don't like any, I love Modelo. I don't like that when I'm on the beach. Again, it's hot, man.
Yep.
It's hot. You're drinking. You're dehydrating yourself. You got to get something that's a little bit lighter just to, cruise on. I think those. So probably White Claw number 1, Corona number 2, Land Shark number 3.
All right, I'm going to beat your top 3 with one pick.
My
number 1. I'm going to start at number 3. I'm going to go Truly Lemonade Pack.
Okay.
I think that's
like
an
that.
elite pack. You can crush those
good.
very easily, and you get smacked around by them. Now, next one, I'm going to go with Mango Cart. A lot of people would go Summer Shandy with a beer. I'm not going to do Summer Shandy. I think Mango Cart is more elite for the summer because it keeps you alive for longer. Because think about it, you're drinking.
You really put me on the spot, dude.
I know. I'm sorry. I also had your whole top 3 to think about this.
Yes, you did.
But Truly Lemonades, I'm going to go Mango Cart, and then you missed this one drastically.
I did.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
Yeah.
Tanzo Slushy.
Slushy.
Yeah. That
shit.
Like, I can't believe you didn't say
all
that
right, but
one.
that's not all right. But you can't get that and go like if I go to Tanzo's over here, I am not bringing that slushy to the beach. That is more in my backyard.
I am. I've done it.
You've done it?
Yeah.
And what was it? Just like this? Just water?
No, if you throw it in a cooler of ice.
Well, that's dedication. I don't have that. I also haven't been to the beach in 2 years.
Really?
Yes.
Was
like
there
any Jersey Shore.
Dude, Charleston. Dude, fantastic. I'm moving there.
How did I miss that? But again, if you're talking now, if you reverse it and you're like, hey, what are your best, day drinking outside in the backyard drink? Tanzo slushies would have popped up in my mind.
Absolutely.
But I was focused on the setting of beach.
That's fair.
And I still think it's a good top 3. I really do.
No, I think both
White
our
Claws
top
are
threes
very
are very
superior. But no, that's
Yeah.
a good list.
Yeah.
So we have both of our lists for beach drinking.
Yeah. I we'll put that out. We'll see who gets more votes. I'm
gonna be like Land Shark.
Land Shark's gonna crush you, and I think Mango Cart's gonna crush
Summer
me.
Shandy. Like, damn, I missed that. That's a
Neither of us put it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Listen, you remember in college, I used to get Summer Shandy 12 packs and just go sit there and sip them all day.
Yeah.
But if I had known Mango Cart was around, I probably would have went Mango Cart.
That would be fun to drink on the beach. Like, I don't want to drink IPAs on the beach. Again, avoid the heavy stuff. Like, if you want to get hammered, go ahead, but you're going to get burnt. You're going to be so dehydrated and hungover the next day. It's just not worth it.
Like, follow, subscribe, back to the show.
All right, let's get into the NFC East here.
Damn, it's been too long, bro.
Too long. We finally get to talk football. I mean,
nothing has changed.
Less than, what is it? How many days? So there's probably, 22 days left in May.
Probably about another month and a half
30.
until camp.
We got,
or about like a month and a quarter.
We have less than 75 days probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until camp.
Well, June is probably like mid-June, right? Where it's when camp starts.
So less than 50.
Or mini camp.
That's mini camp.
Yeah.
I'm talking about camp.
Yeah, so probably over, 50, probably around 50 to like 60 days.
Yeah, because.
Let me use my handy
all right,
dandy
let's not do
Google.
math. Let's not do math. Yeah, because it would be July and June, right? Or does it start the last week of July? It has to start the last week of July.
I'm trying to wait, because now I'm actually intrigued. Yeah. So mid-July is when.
All right,
training
so we're
camp
less than
starts.
75 days away. That's incredible. That is awesome. So I can't wait to get into this, especially because of what just happened with the Dallas Cowboys. George freaking Pickens, welcome to the team. I'm so happy. I don't know why the Steelers let this guy leave the building. Mike Tomlin with the biggest fumble job of all time. How do you let that leak your building? How do you let it leak that your head coach was this one spearheading him getting out of there? I can't wait for George Pickens to have a 20-plus touchdown year, over 2,000 yards, just dominating D-backs. I mean, he said no one could have summed it up better than him. No one. First thing he did was made sure all the shiesties that have Cowboys logos got sold out today. That was a huge first step. Second thing, he came out, said he loved Dak. Massive for the program. I do too. Number 3, and finally, how the hell are you going to double him and CD? You can't. You can't, because you're going to have Jake Ferguson in there. You're going to have Pickens there going over the top. You're going to have CD going underneath and over the top. And on top of that, you're going to have the one that they said was going to be the number 2 for, 6-7 months in Jalen Tolbert. Like, who are you going to guard? On top of the fact that we still might get Amari Cooper. Mike, I've talked myself into delusion. Did I text you this, that I'm choosing to be delusional?
Yes.
Yeah, we're winning the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It's over.
So, you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm going to say this. The Cowboys won the trade. But I don't think the Steelers lost the trade. And I'm going to tell you why.
Can I say one thing before you get into it?
Did you think I would say that?
I
did.
didn't, but if you didn't say it, I would have told you you were wrong.
Yeah. Oh,
Listen, everyone was just all over Howie Roseman when he traded a 3rd-round pick for Jahan Dotson, who has, until the Super Bowl, not caught a football.
We love you, dude.
Love you, Jahan. I hope you come on the show. But let's be honest, Jalen Hurts doesn't throw the guy the football. So was he worth the 3rd-round pick? Probably not. Jerry Jones goes and trades a 3rd-round pick for George Pickens, who was an elite wide receiver last year, was the number 1 for his team last year, and probably I would put him in the top 10 to 15 wide receivers in the league right now.
Behind Garrett Wilson. Just make sure you say that.
Sure, of course. Behind Garrett Wilson and CeeDee Lamb, of course. And A.J. Brown. We'll throw him in there. But he's in that category. And now you just gave him away, and Jerry Jones gets him for a 3rd-round pick? Some people would say he's better than Howie Roseman.
What have I been saying about the Dallas Cowboys
Howie
and Jerry World for, however this show has existed, for how long this show has existed? They need weapons. They need to start getting weapons. And you know what Jerry did? And you know what? I got to give him a lot of props. He was patient. He was working the phone, because this is a downtime now. The draft's over. Everyone's starting to, get in the groove of their team. They're finally finalizing your undrafted free agents. Just signing those guys and whatnot.
Getting all the Sanders boys in the team.
Pretty much, yes. You're getting your training camp in. You're going to have a lot of these guys trying out for the team. Jerry's working the phone, and he's, calling up Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan and saying, hey, how about that George Pickens guy? Is he available? And that's exactly what he needed. How long have we been saying this? You're rocking with Jalen Tolbert as a 2. He's not a bad player, but he's not a number 2. Now you got CD as a number 1. You have George Pickens as a number 2. Helps out Dak Prescott so much. You got Booker on the inside now. You're going to be a run-heavy team, but you have those 2 guys as your weapons. I thought they had a really good draft. I like the way that Jerry approached it, and it's huge for Dak. I think now, I'm not saying this. I still don't think Dak needs to, do Dak things. He's not a bad quarterback. He's an average to above average quarterback. We've talked about this.
You don't want this conversation to start.
Well, I don't want this conversation to start because we won't have enough time. But Dak now has the weapon where he's got Jake Ferguson sitting there. He's going to be a decent tight end to have. He's going to, be the security blanket, catch the ball, get the yardage. George Pickens is going to be, that's another guy like CD. When you give him the opportunity and you give him a quarterback, which, listen, the Steelers tried with Russ, didn't work out. Justin Fields might have fumbled it, probably did fumble it, but now George Pickens doesn't have to be the star of the show. CeeDee Lamb is clearly the star of the show, but Pickens could pick up the slack. Brandon Cooks was doing that, but now it's at an exceptionally higher level with George Pickens. Shout out to Jerry Jones for that trade. Stayed patient, and worked the deal. And it worked out. And then are we going to get on the Steelers way? Because I want to talk about them too.
I have one thing, and it kind of goes into why the Steelers let him go. The one thing that was missing from a lot of these Cowboys teams, when you look at ever since Dez Bryant left, really, right? You had T.O., you had Dez Bryant, and it just happened that those guys were both wide receivers. But what were they? They were animals. They were mean. They weren't afraid to speak and do things. They weren't afraid to throw a punch, whether it's on a teammate or on an opposition player. The Cowboys don't have that. And CeeDee Lamb, great player. Micah Parsons, great player. Dak Prescott, great player. Overshown, great player. These are all pro type players that I just listed. And they're all too nice. They say the right things. CeeDee Lamb, you could say, yeah, he's got a little bit of like more of a spine than the rest of them, maybe to go into the media and say something. But at the end of the day, he's too nice. He's never going to punch somebody. George Pickens will grab you by the shirt and punch you and then turn to your grandmother and punch her. Like, I love this move. I love it so much. We needed a little grit. I hope the first game he gets a personal. I hope he does. I hope it's a 15-yarder, first play of the game. I hope he sets the tone early against the Eagles, because aren't we going to play the Eagles? The Eagles wanted us, or do they want the Bears now?
Mm-hmm.
Do they want the Bears? I saw that one today. Are they already backpedaling because they realize how good Jerry Jones is doing? Are you guys already scared of us? Already scared of the big, bad Dallas Cowboys? We got Tyler Booker coming for your quarterback. Oh, my gosh. He's going to play both sides of the ball, dude. Did you see him?
Tyler Booker, he's
Dude,
massive.
He's
a massive human being.
He won't let anyone touch Dak, but I swear, if we put him on the edge, him and Micah would be an absolute problem.
I listen, people will say that they reached for him, and I don't want to get into the draft here because we've already talked about it like a lot with Lucas. Shout out to Lucas again. But that a player like that, where you're kind of banking on the physicality and the traits of a lineman. Yeah, listen, he was probably the top guard in the class, and he was going to go between the 20s and the 30s, maybe in the second round. But Jerry Jones has a history of taking these linemen, all Tylers, by the way, Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton, I believe,
Yep,
and now Tyler Booker.
I love it.
He likes guys named Tyler,
Yep.
and he's solidifying the line, dude. You got to replace Zach Martin somehow. You get a guy that's he's going to control the line of scrimmage, and you're going to go up against guys like Jalen Carter, and you're going to go Allen from the Commanders, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter. Like, you got to solidify him. You got to protect Dak Prescott.
And we got to talk about that.
Yeah, because I've seen
Tyler Booker. I mean, we're replacing someone that doesn't, at a historical level, doesn't give up sacks with someone who historically does not give up sacks for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is, I don't like how Jerry Jones and the whole family are saying that he's the Jalen Carter stopper because he gave up a couple sacks in college. It just so happens that they were all to Jalen Carter. So that is a little scary. But he's got a couple more years under his belt.
Luckily, a center exists too. So
yeah, I think Tyler Booker's going to be just fine. I think it'll be fantastic. He is going to give up sacks, though. We all got to realize he's going to give up sacks.
I think that this was a really big move for the Cowboys, man. They needed to make, again, if they would have, rocked with Jalen Tolbert as a 2, not made any moves, or maybe took Ryan Flournoy, no offense to him, but like threw him at wide receiver 3, like, where were the Cowboys going? Where were they going to be? They were not going to be a threat. I think me and they were not going to be a threat. But now, waiting for ball game, and it's one player. Like, it changes the aspect of the team, but it more so changes the aspect of the offense. Again, you got a whole other side of the ball you got to worry about. But this is a really big move for Dallas, and it's a new beginning for George Pickens. Like, we've saw the potential that he had, making incredible acrobatic catches. Now he's got someone who can actually throw him the ball consistently, and not being a run heavy team. Again, they will be run heavy, but like, Dak also likes to throw the ball a little bit. Schottenheimer's going to air out the ball. Yes. It's going to be interesting to see kind of what their scheme is going to be and how they're going to run their offense.
Don't sleep on Jayden Blue.
Another speedy guy that they got.
Sleep on him.
Phil Maffa. You never know with him either.
Never know. I think Blue is going to be good, though. I really do. I want to get into this, though, because we have to. George Pickens gets sent to Dallas, and there's no sign of Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers anytime soon. So what does this mean for the Steelers moving forward? Because you're going in the preseason with one's proven to be unproven, and the other one is unproven in the NFL. So there's no run game. There's no pass game. What is this team going to do? What are the Steelers actually going to do? How is Mike Tomlin going to work a 500 season out of this?
They're playing for next year. They're playing for next year because there are so many good, talented quarterbacks that are going to be there. And I think, listen, they're rolling with Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Skylar Thompson. And Skylar, again, like you said, proven but unproven. Skylar Thompson shown it a little bit. We pretty much a backup. And then Will Howard, we don't know. We don't know what Will Howard's going to show.
I think that there's a world where Will Howard steps in and wins the starting job for week 1 And not only does he excel, but he wins like 8 to 9 games. I really do. On his shoulders. I think
500 team.
I think he can do it. Now, will the rest of the team show up? That's the biggest thing. If the rest of the team can put it together and they somehow get this roster to win games outside of the quarterback position, we could see a 12-13 win season.
I think,
But I don't see it. I think they win 4 games this year.
with the Steelers, I still okay. You see, I'm higher on you or higher on the Steelers than you are. Four wins is crazy. Listen,
I mean,
they're the 500 team. We know this. Mike Tomlin will pull something out of a hat and go 8-9, 9-8. You just know how it goes. He's been on this record for how many years? We can go through the schedule all you want. They will find a way to go 500, even with me at quarterback.
Ready? All right, Baltimore. Do they actually beat Baltimore this year?
They split with them.
You think they split? Okay, so they
Yes.
have 1 win. The Cincinnati Bengals this year.
They split with them.
You think that they're going to score enough points to beat the Bengals?
They might stop them.
You think?
They might.
Mike.
I'm trying to make a case
Mike.
because, bro, Mike Tomlin
Mike,
has gone 500 how many times,
I
bro?
don't care about your case. I want you to be honest.
I think
I want
they
you to be
split
honest.
with them,
I
bro.
want
It's
you to be
football.
honest.
It's the NFL. You know what
Okay,
happens.
2 wins.
I split with them.
2 wins. The Browns.
Split, definitely.
Really?
Yes.
I was going to say they win both.
Yeah, or
I
they
think
win
the
both.
I
I'll
think
be
the Browns are going to
generous
end up
here.
being a dumpster fire because Shador doesn't get his number 2. Jacksonville, hear me out.
I think they might lose that game.
I think they lose. I think Jacksonville's going to beat them. I think Jacksonville's going to sneakily be very good this year. I don't know what
You
it is
might
about
be back
Liam
on
Cohen and his, Liam Cohen looks like Mike Curdy. When you watch him.
Oh, no.
Wait, if Mike Curdy, no, hear me out. Hear me out. This is supposed to be nice. If Mike Curdy was an NFL football coach who played for many years and then became a coach, that is Liam Cohen.
Oh, God. Damn. I don't want to be throwing shade at Curry.
Ooh, that's not shade. I just said Curdy could be an NFL head coach.
Kurt,
How was that
there you
shade?
go. You are apparently Liam Cohen. So.
All right. Back to the main topic. We have 3 wins. They're going to beat the Saints.
Yes, anybody could beat the Saints.
Beat the Saints.
Liberty
But
will beat the
it's
Saints.
It's in New Orleans. Oh, let's not go that far. They're going to lose to the Texans. They're going to lose to the Colts. They're going to lose to the Falcons.
Oh, whoa. Wait a minute. They're going to lose to the Colts? I think they beat the Colts.
Who's our quarterbacks?
Huh?
Who's their quarterbacks?
Who, the Colts?
Yep.
Danny Dimes, AR. If Danny Dimes plays, the Colts will beat them. If AR plays, the Colts will lose. Okay?
Okay, we're at 4 wins.
Put an asterisk
We're at
around
4 wins still. Atlanta, L. Panthers, L.
L.
Dude, the Panthers seriously might.
A lot of people are, they're high on the Panthers. I've been listening to a couple things.
Mike, the Panthers might go to the NFC Championship.
We already talked about the NFC South. That'll be for the future.
All right, I got to figure out what that game is. They're not being in. They might. AFC East, do you think they beat any team in the AFC East this year?
I think they could beat the Dolphins.
Okay.
I think
don't know
they
why,
do beat the Finns.
I don't know why this doesn't have. It just says AFC East to be determined.
I think the Jets finally get one from them. I think they do it.
Okay. Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, win.
Okay. Bucks. L.
Well, L.
L. All right, so we're looking at 6 wins.
6 wins. Oof. Okay, man. I guess they always surprise us.
But like,
just on paper, where there's a very early prediction of this.
I
the
know.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's just when you look at their team. Let me pull up their roster right now. This is.
Oh, dude, we're supposed to talk about NFC East. I know.
But I told you this was going to happen.
Yes.
Think about it. This is a team. There has never been a team that's tanked harder in the NFL in history. You had DK Metcalf,
Which is why I didn't like that
and
signing.
George Pickens, right? And then you put Will Howard back there, who just likes to sling the ball anyways and go deep. You had 2 of the best deep threats in the NFL. They were top 2 in the league this past year in yards, like in average yards per catch. You could have run it. You could have run this whole division in the air raid offense. You could have been better than the Bengals with the air raid offense with Will Howard and these 2. But instead, we decided to go DK Metcalf, who cannot be happy. Cannot be happy right now. Robert Woods and Calvin Austin III, who gets lit up every other game. Don't know how he's alive still. You have Pat Freiermuth, who I think is getting onto the end of it in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think it's almost there.
They try to find the replacement for Heath Miller, and then he's just
and you have
he's just there.
And you got an O-line that doesn't really get the run game going. They don't when has the run game really got going there? Because we would have heard Najee Harris' name a lot more than we have had if the O-line was actually able to get it going.
And this is exactly why I think they're playing for next year. This is exactly why I think that. You know what I think about the Steelers right now? It looks like they are slowly trying to rebuild. What Omar Khan has just done, either he, before the DK Metcalf trade was like, hey, if we can get someone to, be a wide receiver 1 on the team and not be George Pickens, we're going to do it, and then we're going to ship off George Pickens for picks. Because I think, and I don't think it's a bad thing on the Steelers, I think George Pickens was disgruntled in Pittsburgh for numerous years because they didn't have a quarterback, and I think they just did not want to deal with it. They traded him at somewhat his highest value, and I think it was a good move by them. I think it was really a win-win trade. I don't think Pickens.
Sure.
I think Pickens was just going to be, it wasn't going to work out, and I think they, they ripped the Band-Aid off and they just accepted it and are now playing for the future. I really do.
But my thing is all right, you
had both of them,
but you had both, but you got rid of George Pickens, who was a mental case. I hope
sure.
I hope he's still a mental case. But you brought in DK Metcalf, you paid him so much money, and then you got rid of everybody. Mm-hmm. And you didn't bring in an actual quarterback. So you got rid of a mental case. You brought in a guy who has had physical altercations many times and had personal fouls called many times, got suspended a couple times, to fill his place on a lot of money with no team around him, and you expect him to be happy and not get in trouble in these games?
Yeah,
I'm just confused by the logic here, because they had to have made an agreement with DK before this all went down and they paid him that, listen, we are going to play for next year. We're going to get you a quarterback next year. And blah, blah, blah. I went through the whole. No, but DK can't be happy. This is a miserable lineup I'm looking at.
The trade, if we go back on the trade now or whatever, and the amount of money that they're now paying DK, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense, because if you look at Pickens and DK, they're kind of the same exact figure. They're the same exact, body type, physicality, contested catch, not really big route runners. They're physical. And when you have two guys like that, it doesn't really, they don't really separate. Maybe DK had better separation skills. I don't really know. It's just a weird trade and a weird signing that they made. But now, hey, They wanted to get something in return for George Pickens. They did, and they're gonna rock with DK. They signed him to 5 years, and now listen, it's pretty blatantly obvious that they're playing for the future. They're not playing for now. I think getting a guy like Caleb Johnson, breeds Steeler. He just looks like a Steeler. Great pick. I think the Derek Harmon pick was really good too. And Jack Sawyer was another guy an edge rusher. Just Pittsburgh culture guys. It just makes sense, and they just got to build on now. They know that Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere. Omar Khan, listen, this is pretty much his, going on his second year being a GM. He's got something to prove, and they have a vision in place. And the Rooney's probably, are they really going to be, saying anything about it? As long as they're bringing in the money and they're bringing in some wins, they're going to be fine, and they're going to play for next year, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I agree. All right, let's get into. You want to get into the Eagles first, or do you want to talk about the New York situation?
Let's talk about the New York. Let's save the Eagles for last. Let's talk New York.
Yeah, so I want to get into this because the Giants have had a very good offseason for them in comparison to the years past. Mm-hmm. I think they've been very good, and I think the Jets have also had a very productive offseason where, I would say there's more expectations now on this team than when Aaron Rodgers was there. I think it's a better team all around than the first year with Aaron Rodgers when he got injured.
The Jets?
I know there was all that this is it. It's happening. Aaron Rodgers comes out with the flag. There was that whole mess thing. It goes down. But I think that this team is actually better.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
So do I.
So my question to you is, and I'm going to give you the floor here because you are the New York guy. You're the Jets fan. Who's going to win the city? Because both teams are very good. We haven't had this in a while. It's kind of been both in the shitter.
It's a weird question to ask because if you want to get down to, the geographical point of Jets fans and Giants fans, don't let me get really literal here.
We're not going to do that. I'm saying which team's going to be who's going to be the best team coming out of this?
I do think the Jets are.
I can't believe you thought I was talking about who's going to be fans. Dude, listen, if you're a kid in New York right now and you're still on the edge of being a Jets-Giants fan, be an Eagles fan. Dude,
If you're in Jersey, just be a Birds fan.
Do not do that to yourself.
Yeah. Like,
All
if you're in the middle of Jersey, you have a choice between three teams. It's the Giants, the Jets,
or the
and
Bills.
the Eagles.
The Bills. New York. It says New York already.
Yeah, but we're talking Jersey,
Buffalo.
though. We're talking Jersey.
All right.
Jersey's Philly or Jets, usually. Giants, yes, it's those three.
All right.
Buffalo, whatever.
That's
but I actually do think the Jets have a better team, and I think they are on, I wouldn't say a better path, but I think they can win more games now. Let's be real here. Listen, Aaron Glenn was not the surprise hire. I think there were other guys in the mix, but I think Aaron Glenn was pretty much the answer for them. And for this year and for the next couple years, but I just like what he brings to the table, and I think with the familiarity that they have around the team, they have very good players. They have people that are bought in. Obviously, it's been tough. It's been a tough It's been tough for a long time, but like with the players we have now, guys like Quinnen Williams and Quincy Williams, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, like we have, I believe, the better players right now, and that's not a knock on the Giants because listen, they just had a really good draft class, but we don't know what they're getting. But listen, is Jackson Dart going to come out and is going to be a slinger right off the bat? Is Abdul Carter, is he going to immediately make an impact? I think he's going to. Cam Scatterbo, like, is he going to, be the 1-2 punch with Tyrone Tracy? Malik Neighbors, like, obviously he's a stud. Like, is he going to get fed the ball as much as he can? Wan'Dale Robinson, like, I think the Jets have a better foundation. I think their O-line is better. They now solidified it. We have a starting 5 O-line that is probably going to be, a top 10 unit pending if they're healthy. We still have Breece Hall. We still have Braylon Allen. We still have Garrett Wilson. We still have Sauce Gardner and good defensive players. We signed Jamie and Sherwood to a big contract. Like, now it's really, what can Tanner Engstred do with Justin Fields? What is his vision for this offense going forward? What's it going to look like? Is it going to be, run the ball a lot, run a lot of RPOs with Justin Fields, get the ball out quick? Is he going to be, throwing bombs to Garrett? Like, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I think that the players that they have, especially the rapport that Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields have, massive. Yep. Mason Taylor, another big pick from LSU. Like, I think they got a lot of players to, make a push and, compete. I think they can compete now. I think the Giants have players, but I think it's going to take them time to start figuring it out, which is why I would take the Jets over the Giants.
Absolutely. For this season, yeah.
For this season,
and
yes.
That's
100%.
where, like, we can bring this back to the NFC East conversation. You draft Jackson Dart, right? Now, all 4 teams, when we go into 2026, 27, 27, 28, you're looking at a division that has Dak Prescott most likely still with the Cowboys. Jalen Hurts most likely still with the Eagles. You're going to have Jayden Daniels definitely with the Commanders. And you're going to have Jackson Dart, who has massive expectations on his shoulders for how he's going to do in New York as a starter in New York.
But he might not start, though. That's the thing.
No, this year, no.
Oh, but for the
I'm
future.
talking about in the future, like a year or two down the line. You're going to be looking at a division with 4 guys playing quarterback that honestly are probably deep playoff run caliber players. Like, I could not tell you the last time that the NFC East was like that. It was probably when Tony Romo, Eli Manning, when McNabb was there.
Vic
McNabb, those years.
Wentz.
And you had like those weird RG3, Kirk
Cousins.
They always had a quarterback there in Washington. It was just like random shit.
Yeah, it was somehow like getting it done and then falls off.
Yeah, but like honestly, you got to go back probably 15 years to the last time that the whole division had a guy at quarterback. The Giants haven't really. They had Daniel Jones, but that wasn't the guy. No one believed in him. Mm-hmm. And then you look at the last year, just a mess. Washington, in and out of having a guy like Sam Howell was never the answer. He's never
thought he was. I'll be honest. I really thought he was.
For a second. Carson Wentz fooled us all to give way to Jalen Hurts, who's just an absolute beast. It kills me I can't cheer for him anymore because you remember when we were on this show together, like we are now, and I was all in on Jalen Hurts. I was like, you guys don't even know like the best quarterbacks behind him.
Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Really wish it never came to be.
The fruition.
Is what it is. Is what it is. But I really like what this all comes into this. The Giants did the right things this year. Cam Scattergo, he's going to be good.
What's his last name?
Scatterbo.
Okay. I thought he was Scattergoo. And I was like, excuse me?
It works. Scattergoo, Tommy DeVito.
Scattergoo, Lakers at 5.
Yeah. But it was a really good draft for them. And they did the right thing. They took Abdul Carter, who can't find a number. But I really like where this team's at. I really do. I don't think they'll be good this year. I think they'll be, third or fourth place. But I think in the next couple of years, they're a team to watch out for sure.
And the thing is too, which it seems like what Joe Sheen expects is they're not ready to compete. They're not ready to compete, and they're just trying to. And that's why when
football guys.
When we talked with Lucas so many times, and Shador, even Curdy, like earlier on, a couple months ago before the draft, like, oh, Shador at 3. We're like, are you really going to take a guy like Shador Sanders, who question marks, good player? Deion Sanders behind his back over, a guy that looks exactly like Micah Parsons at Penn State. Like, you're going to let a guy like that fall? Or, hey, Travis Hunter, who he was throwing to, could play both sides of the ball. Like, I didn't buy it. You didn't buy it. It made sense as to why they didn't do it. But we got to remember this, too. When you're looking at these drafts, besides, a couple of guys like the Chiefs draft where, they hit on a lot of people, and the Jets draft where, Breece, Sauce, Garrett Wilson, the turnout for a lot of these, these drafts that happen for these teams, you're expecting minimum to maximum, like, just you want 2 guys to be impact starters right off the bat. You want 2 guys that you hit on and aren't busts like an Evan Neal. You just want 2 guys that can get there right off the bat and play. Whether that be, Abdul Carter, he's going to be a great starter right off the bat. Cam, he might be really good. We don't know. Jackson Dart, we don't know. Quarterbacks will always be the biggest question. We saw what Caleb saw with, Jayden Daniels, Drake May. We've seen it with everybody. The Mac Jones class with Trevor, Zach Wilson, you know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera. But you can't look at this draft, any draft on any team, and expect rounds 1 from round 7 to immediately be a player to start and make an impact. Yeah. It just doesn't happen, and it's super, super rare. So listen, if they get those 3 guys and Darius Alexander from Toledo, they get 4 guys from this draft that can, be a good player and be a long-term player for the New York Giants, they won the draft. Yeah. But, if Jackson Dart starts this year somehow and looks like shit, now it doesn't matter. They're going to have to wait. And he won't. I don't think he will either.
I think what they did at quarterback in the offseason was super smart.
Yes.
Because you got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Jackson Dart should never touch the field this year. He should sit there and watch, and he should learn from Jameis on the sideline during the games. And then if Jameis ends up having to play when Russell's injured, Tommy DeVito should be the backup, and Russell Wilson should be right there in Jackson Dart's ear, just whispering words of wisdom to him.
Yeah. Truly, though. Like
that's how it should work.
And the fact that they took him and they traded up, got the first-round pick, took Jackson Dart, good on them because they knew who they wanted. All the Shador smoke, they didn't fall for it. They didn't listen to these analysts. They did their own homework. They got the guy, and I think they'll be fine. Listen, when you have a guy like Malik Neighbors that's on your team, you got to get that guy the ball because you don't want him disgruntled. You don't want the headlines being what's going to happen with Malik Neighbors. You don't want it, and the Giants shouldn't be in that position because I just don't think there are any expectations of it. You'll have some people, they might be competitive. Okay, what's competitive? 6-11 at really close games that they pretty much lost every single one of. They should not have any expectation. They should be better than last year. That's their only expectation.
I agree. And with that, let's move on. So I want to get into the Commanders quick. And this it's honestly going to be short and sweet. I'm not sure there's much we really need to talk about with them, but this might be controversial. I told you before the show where my opinion lies with this team. I think that the Giants made enough moves where they can be competitive for the bottom of this division. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they will win games, whereas last year they weren't able to do that. I think the division's between the Cowboys and the Eagles. I think Washington did not do enough this offseason to set Jayden Daniels up to not have a sophomore slump. And you look at this wide receiver and you're like, Deebo Samuel's there now. Deebo's old as shit. There's a reason why the 49ers wouldn't pay him and they let him walk. You think the 49ers, who are in a time of going to Super Bowls, contending for NFC championships, want to just let a superstar walk that can win them a Super Bowl? Like, they wouldn't have just let Deebo walk like that. You know what I mean? So I'm taking that signing with a grain of salt. You have Michael Gallup, Luke McCaffrey, you got Noah Brown, a bunch of basically Cowboys rejects. You got Zach Ertz, Eagles reject. You got Laramie Tunsil. Hopefully he doesn't smoke a gas mask out before every game. I'm not impressed with this team. I think Jayden Daniels is the most impressive one, and honestly, He's kind of a wuss bag. Tell your mom to not come with you to Miami. Why is she third wheeling your date with some model to Miami? That's my biggest issue with this team. If we all boil it all the way down, I don't think Jayden Daniels he doesn't have enough swag. He doesn't have enough juice. He doesn't have enough confidence. Like, buddy, eventually you just gotta tell your mom she can't be doing everything for you. You know, like sometimes you gotta make your own meals. Sometimes you gotta go on your own dates. Like, who asked the questions on this date? Was it Jayden Daniels or his mom?
His mother.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what do we do? That's who you want leading your... No, Marcus Mariota is going to end up starting half the games because Jayden Daniels is going to flounder this year. It's going to be a sophomore slump like no one's ever seen, and they're going to come in last place.
I disagree with you, bro. I'll be honest. I love your points and everything. I think they didn't even have to pretty much do much. I think what the draft, they got their need.
Oh, so what you're saying is that what they had last year was good enough?
I mean, like, hold on. I was going to finish my point.
But you said they didn't have to do much.
Let me backtrack it. Let's take a step back.
Yeah, you see where I'm going to go with that.
I think getting Debo on the team helped. Well, it did not hurt them. It helped them.
Eagles fan.
Oh, he's an Eagles fan?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. They played the Eagles. He hates the Eagles. It is what it is.
We'll see.
But no, it helped them. It's going to help Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels, if he does slump, I could see, maybe them not repeating what they did last year, but sure. I think they can be a playoff team, for the next 2 or 3 years, and then we'll see what happens after that. But when you got a guy like that there, you're kind of expecting a playoff run or a playoff, spot every single year. And I think Terry McLaurin and him are only going to get better. They're, Brian Robinson shouldn't play at all. Maybe though, I think they got to run.
He's going to be the starter.
Unfortunately, Deebo Samuel, they got Josh Connerly, Trey Amos from Ole Miss. Like they have, they got the juice, man. I like where they're at. I don't think they're going to go. I think they can finish 11-6 again, 12-5. I have high expectations for them now that they have expectations.
This team's one injury away from not winning a single game.
Yeah, with Jayden Daniels.
Nope, any of them.
Terry McLaurin.
If Terry McLaurin or Deebo go down with an injury. Yeah, we're expecting Noah Brown to catch a football. Listen, I had that expectation in Dallas for 2.5 years. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry to break it to all you Washington fans. Noah Brown is not the guy.
Do they make the playoffs?
No. The Cowboys and the Eagles will come out of this division, and I don't think they make the playoffs because I think that the NFC North is way too strong.
The NFC is strong, though.
I think the Green Bay Packers actually drafting a wide receiver. What's his name again?
Matthew Golden. I think that was massive for the program. I think that actually upgrades their wide receiver room for the first time in a decade. No hamstring injuries there. That's a positive. See, I'm more on the Bears than the Packers.
Well, I'm getting to it. But I'm just saying the Packers are definitely a playoff contending team, division contending team. You got the Lions coming back, powerhouse team. You got the Bears. Mike, I don't know if you saw, but the Pope is a Chicago-born Pope. Some might say the Bears' time is here. Their time is here. It's now. What?
It's the Seahawks' time. I don't know if you saw the sleeper thing. Every time a Pope has got elected, the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
Okay. That's fine.
How do people find these stats right off the bat?
Mike, has it ever been an American Pope?
No.
And that is why the Bears will obviously be winning this division.
Ooh,
they will be winning this division. The Vikings are going to come in last. Detroit will come in second. Green Bay will come in third. But all three teams are going to make the playoffs out of that division.
Yeah, we could see that. We could see it happening.
Yeah, so I think it's really cool that the Pope's American. Shout, go Cats, Villanova grad. Villanova winning a national championship, book it, and then parlay that with the Bears Super Bowl. Book it. I don't know what those odds are, but I'm telling you right now,
crazy
you
odds.
put
you'll retire.
Put $10 on that, you're retiring.
Yeah,
easily.
The NFC is really strong. I mean, don't even get started with the NFC South. You already know who your pick is.
Yeah,
the
Panthers.
Bucs, Atlanta, the NFC West. Apparently, the Cardinals. The Cardinals are coming back. Sit down.
No, we're only saying that because all those Cardinals were in that Vatican City doing the vote. Listen, all they did was vote. They didn't get anything. Nothing like what the Bears got today.
Mm-hmm. The Rams, they'll be fine. Seahawks, gotta watch out.
Listen,
and of course the Niners. You never know about them.
Is it crazy to think that division and the NFC South will only send one team each?
No, it's not.
Because I really think that's going to happen. I think the NFC East will send 2, and I think that the NFC North will send 3, and then they'll both send 1. That math adds up, right?
Yeah,
7
it does.
teams?
I
7
think
teams?
the NFC South has a better chance of sending 2 than the NFC West. Yeah, we're rolling with it. 3 teams in the NFC North is crazy though.
Yeah, but let's think like if they had the same type of years last year, right? Just minus the Vikings. So let's say the Bears and the Lions, or the Bears and Green Bay had that type of year. One of those other teams between the Bears, Lions, and Packers are going to have an above-average season. They're going to win a lot of games. Like, yeah, they might split, and then the other teams might win those out-of-conference games, but I think 3 can get in. I think pretty easily, too.
Well, I think that now as we're settling through, the draft and everything's kind of set. Like, the quarterbacks are set, the coaches are set, the players are set. I think it's one of the hardest divisions to cover, and I don't think there's a clear winner. And I love Detroit. I don't know if they win it again. I don't know because listen, J.J. McCarthy can come out and just be an absolute dog. Caleb Williams can just be dialing it up, and they could look exactly like the Lions did last year. The Green Bay Packers, if they could stay healthy and Jordan Love stays healthy, they could be tearing up. If Matthew Golden is a wide receiver 1 stud, who's going to win this division? Like the Lions just lost Ben Johnson to the Bears. Like how is whoever's filling that guy's shoes in Detroit? You got a big job to do. So I don't know. I don't know who's going to win it. I don't. It's tough to really get, and again, I don't want to get off this division, but like we got to focus on NFC East, but like it's like you never know anymore. Like it's every single year is different. Every single year. Washington. Who thought Washington was going to do what they did? AFC team. Who was the AFC team that made kind of some noise? The Bengals. Them not making the playoffs. Denver Broncos getting in and actually, and
then getting slaughtered.
But at least getting in. No one expected them to get in with a rookie quarterback. Like every single year, one of these rookie guys takes the team to a different level and makes it happen. And listen, JJ is the only rookie in that division, in a tough division. So I don't know. Yeah. And then Birds. We got the Birds as the last one.
Defending champions.
I don't got much.
I don't have much either. I think
Howie's a god. That's really it.
No, he's not. Jerry Jones just did the same thing as him, but better. Let's not act like he's a god. Did you see he's very demeaning when he calls other GMs. He acts like he's the king of all these guys. Buddy, come on.
He kind of is the king of drafts.
No, but that's cool and all, but you don't have to be like, hey, buddy, so what you thinking? What do you think? Like, don't be demeaning. Don't be demeaning. You can be the best without being demeaning. Look what everyone says about LeBron. LeBron's an asshole. Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan that's why he's the best. That's why he's the greatest of all time.
LeBron?
This when everyone dies on this planet, we will remember how good Jerry Jones' draft classes were and how many All-Pros and Hall of Famers he drafted. Howie Roseman, all we're going to have is those clips from the War Room of him being a demeaning, mean, ugly human being. That's what we're going to have.
Yeah, that first.
Sorry to say it. I hate to say it about him because I really don't hate them more than the Washington Commanders. I just hate Howie Roseman.
I think you hate him because round 1, pick 31 was linebacker Jahad Campbell from Alabama. that was definitely a stab to the heart.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And then all these other guys, I don't really know. Again, they had the later picks. They took a safety from Texas.
They're going to be good again.
Yeah, of course. And that's why, fine. It's not even like they should be the same exact team.
Yes, and I hope they run it back because let me tell you, none of these guys can beat Dak Prescott. They can't. Look up the stats. Eagles fans, don't get John Batillo. Don't start calling me right now. Don't start calling me. I'm calling you out right now.
Oh, I'm delusional, John. I forgot. Sorry, I'm a delusional.
Don't call me right now. But you guys never beat Dak Prescott. You never do it. This team, you better figure out how this team that you keep running back to beat Dak Prescott can't beat Dak Prescott.
Rent-free.
It's what?
Rent-free.
Yeah, we live rent-free in their mind. All we see, Dak Prescott this, Dak Prescott that. That you keep posting that crown photo of Dak Prescott on his knee in front of Jalen Hurts. Buddy, Jalen Hurts only wins divisions when Dak Prescott is out for more than 5 to 6 games. And Cooper Rush is our quarterback, and we got Trey Lance going in at the end of the game, so we're down by 50. Let's stop acting like Jalen Hurts can win this division. He can't. He gets dominated by the Mississippi State quarterback. Shout out to Mississippi State. Like Oklahoma, the bad university. I'm not accepting Jalen Hurts anymore. I might be off Jalen Hurts. Bryce Young's my new quarterback.
He is your new quarterback. Jalen Hurts will always be a quarterback to monitor. I will always be watching him with clear eyes.
Yeah.
He's the guy that people are very high on, and then there are some that are just like, hold your horses. And I'm kind of in the middle to hold your horses. But listen, he comes in the big moments. That's exactly the quarterback he is. He's not going to be, besides the tush push and everything else that, gets him his numbers for rushing, where Philly fans run with. When you look at his passing and everything, again, this is not, we say it's too much. Yeah. It's not a knock on Jalen Hurts.
No.
But he came up in big moments, and listen, that is a great trait to have. He's clutch. He won the Super Bowl. I'm very happy for him. But again, the team is really good, and you got it. That's your identity. Your identity
really good.
Is being really good and not having Jalen Hurts do as much as he can.
We're going to look back on this team, and we're going to say the identity of this football team, was it rushing? No. Was it being good in the air? No. Was it good defensively? No. It was just
not letting Jalen Hurts
being really good at winning. That's what this team
But you know what's crazy, though? And I know we're running out of time here, but we had this conversation before the season started last year with Abe. And I said the same exact thing. I said, you don't want Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. You want to give him the Aaron Rodgers treatment. This is how far we went back. Don't let him throw. Use the run game. That's going to win you games. Let him come in and do what he has to do when he has to. That's the recipe for Philadelphia, and they're going to roll with it for however long they keep everybody on that team.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a tough team to stop. They're probably going to be another NFC contender.
I think they go to the NFC Championship game and lose this year.
That could happen.
I mean, that's a good season. Eagles fans are going to say, oh, they're going to be pissed at me.
Oh, high expectation.
I said they go to the NFC Championship game and lose. Like, brother, I would give so much to be in an NFC Championship game. That is my Super Bowl right now. So me saying that is actually a very big compliment to your team.
Bro, the Mets making the NLDS last year, or the NLCS, I'm sorry.
I hated this.
It was great.
I hated this because you were so happy about I wanted to make the World Series and win, and you're like, oh, Super Bowl, we won, we made it to NLDS and lost to the Dodgers.
You have no idea, bro. You have no clue what I go through. You don't.
I do. No, you don't. I have to deal with your
Nobody
teams
does.
every day.
Yes, you do.
Every day. And now
now
we added someone that basically is the same person as you into our group chat.
Lucas?
The only thing that's different is it's a Bears fan, but it's the same thing as being a Jets fan.
Nah, Lucas is more pessimistic than I am.
He is.
Way more pessimistic.
Lucas, I have to say you're very negative. We got to get the vibes up a little bit higher in the group chat.
Realist as a mofo. Bro, he was the one who turned me on Lindor. And now I love Lindor. Again.
Not cool.
I do.
But, all right, let's do our predictions and let's get out of here.
All right, so over-under lines. We're going to start out with the Birds. We're going to go with them. We're going to do...
Because it's our division, not to cut you off. Because it's our division.
You want to set them?
No. I want to do also at the end, I want us to just list the order that they're going to come.
You're going to finish them? All right.
Yeah.
So let's start off the Birds. Let's do 12.5. We're going to give them a high number here. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Under.
Over. I'm going to take the over on that.
I think they win 12.
12?
Yeah.
I'll give it 13.
I think 13's a lot of wins. Especially when in my mind, I think the division got a lot tougher.
I changed my mind under.
Okay, sorry to talk you into that. I shouldn't have said anything.
I like 12 wins. Okay. I do. I think that line is a little high. So Eagles is 12.5. We both took the under. 12 wins. Still a good season. Let's go with the Commanders. We're going to go 10.5 here. 3, 2, 1. Under. I give them 10 wins.
So far under.
I give them 10 wins.
10 wins, that's generous. I think they win 5.
5.
Right, let's go.
Oh, my God. All right, Giants. Let's do 5.5 on the Giants. 3, 2, 1. Over?
I think they win 6.
I think they just get 6. Listen, maybe this
team... I think
team...
they're good enough to win 6.
Yeah. Then listen, that line's going to be either 4.5 or 5.5. 6.5, give me the under. They win 6.
Yeah.
Let's do your Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to set the line at 9.5. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Over.
They win 10.
Wait. Oh, okay, you said they win 10?
Yeah.
All right. I was going to say, now let's bump it up to 10.5. And I was going to see how high we could go.
10.5?
Yeah. No, but you just said they're going to win 10.
I think they go 10 wins.
I think they win 13. I think they just edge out the Eagles. That's a little bias. But I think I think this
You
year.
said 13 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, but hear me out. I think it's going to come down to those division games. I think one of the teams is just going to blow the division away, and it's going to get them that one extra win that boosts them over the other.
You know what I think it's going to come down to now, especially after that move? Defense.
Like if we're going to talk about the aspects of the team, sure. But we have the Marvion Overstone coming back at the end of the season for November, December, January. Things to think about.
That dude from Boston College was a fucking awesome pick. That's a really good pick. I think he's a plug and play, and having him alongside of Micah Parsons, scary edge rushers right there. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be just. I don't know if he's going to be just as good, but he's going to learn under him, and he's going to be a force on that probably right edge. I'm assuming, but the secondary is still. They took the guy from East Carolina very fast.
So he went under the radar. Do you know why? Because his ACL was torn. But he's back as of now. I think as of June.
Yeah,
he'll be back, and he was one of the best corners in the entire country.
He was really fast.
That was a steal.
Yeah, really good at past defensive or deflections and whatnot, past tips. But
okay, here's the Giants' schedule. Sorry, Giants' schedule outside of the division. Do you think they split with the Cowboys this year, or do they just get swept again? Because I personally think that the Eagles and the Cowboys sweep them. Like I really do think it's going to come down to, do the Eagles and the Cowboys sweep the commies?
I think the Eagles will sweep them. I think they can split with Dallas. I'll be honest. I think they could do it.
Oh, so you're going against history?
Okay.
Do you know? Do you know the history?
No, they get swept every year.
So the Cowboys absolutely destroy the Giants every game, every year. The Eagles tend to split.
I don't see them splitting. They're too good. If Nick Sirianni and the Birds just come out lackadaisical.
Didn't they split last year?
No. Well, maybe if they, it was week 17 and they sat everybody. So
I'll make the rules.
Still, yeah, true. All right. So I think they split with Washington, and then they either split with Dallas or the Eagles, and one of those teams sweeps them.
So we're looking at 2 wins out of the division for the Giants.
Correct.
Okay. Well, now they have home games against the Packers, the Vikings, the Chiefs, the Chargers, San Francisco. Do they win any of those games?
I don't think so.
Me neither.
No.
Okay.
Maybe Minnesota, but no. I don't think they beat anybody.
And then away games. They got the Bears, the Broncos, the Lions, the Raiders, the Saints, and the Patriots. I think they might win one of those. They're going to have 3 wins.
I think max 3 wins. The Saints, no doubt. The Saints are losing every single game. I don't care. Unless Tyler Shaw goes crazy.
I actually feel bad for them now. I do, because
I
did not know that was their schedule.
Did you? How funny was that diss track that I sent you?
So
it came up on my feed yesterday, and I was cracking up. What a guy. Sign him. Any record label, if you could find him, sign him.
Sign him, please.
So, all right, they beat the Saints. I think who else was it? The Chargers, L. Broncos, L. Saints, W. Raiders.
Wait. You did the Saints twice.
Well, okay, they're going to beat the Saints.
Okay.
They're going to lose to the Chargers. That's just basically off the away schedule.
Another win.
Oh, my God. All right. Go. List it off.
So we're saying they beat the Saints, they beat the Commanders, and then they beat one of the other 4 games against the Cowboys or the Eagles.
Yes.
Right? There's 3 wins.
Okay.
We're saying maybe Minnesota, so there's a half win. Patriots.
L.
Yeah. Raiders. Away. Vegas. Tough night.
Yeah, let's give them the L.
Broncos.
L.
Lions. Bears.
L.
All the way.
L.
And then you got the 49ers home. Packers home. Chiefs home.
L. I'll give them the win against the Niners.
So we got 4.5 wins.
Yes. It's max 5.
Not looking good for our prediction. That's okay.
You never know.
All right, I want to hear, who do you have? What's the order of these teams in the NFC East? How's it going to finish? And then we're getting out of here.
Well, the history.
We're not going to discuss it. I just want you to tell
let's
me
go. I'm going to take the Birds at 1.
Bad pick.
I'm going to take. I'll throw the Cowboys in at 2.
Thank you.
I'll do it. I'm
not going to lie. I was going to jump across this table and punch
you're on edge. I'm taking the boys at 2. I'm going to take Washington tied with 2 at 3, and then the Giants at 4.
I think everyone knows where I'm going with this, but I'm going Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Washington.
Wow.
Washington, you suck. I hate that team. I hate you. Mike, that was really fun. I love being in person.
Yes, I missed this. This is what I've been waiting for. I'm glad we're back, and we're going to make this happen more. We will make sure that we will do this.
We have to.
Yeah, it's great.
We have to.
It's great. No more Zoom. Zoom was nice because we were getting into the groove, but we got time now. We can make the time. It'll happen.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to do this at the beginning of the show. Look at this sick whistle I got. Ready for this?
Blow it.
Ready for this?
Oh,
How
nice.
sick is that? Ready? It has.
Does that have any other
it's got
settings?
3 settings. Yeah. That one's not too much different. It's a little different. It's a little more stern. But then this one, if I play this one at practice, everyone looks because they're like, "What the hell is going on?"
Oh, that's like some Motorola, walkie-talkie.
Yeah, it's a flip phone back in the day.
How were the glasses in person? Does it fit now?
Way better. Way better.
Than
I
the previous ones?
I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
When you showed up on Zoom that night, I was like, holy shit, it's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I wasn't expecting it. It hit me. You look good, though. You look really good.
Thank you. I was trying to think of a Harry Potter. Expelliarmus!
There you go.
Forgot. But well done, guys. It's been a long time, so
Yeah.
follow, subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment. We got a lot of stuff cooking up for y'all. We're back in biz. We're working hard here. We got a little bit busy, but keep showing the love, and we'll show you the love back. Thanks again.
See ya.